Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So there's a large debate out there about what type of exercise a person should be doing if their goal, their primary goal, is to lose weight. Not get buff, not put on muscle, but strictly to lose weight. And rightfully so, because I've heard so many conflicting stories, like, gym trainers saying you gotta put on muscle to burn fat, and yet you see so many like really thin, lean runners and cyclists. So which type of exercise is best for losing weight? Is it aerobic training in the form of like swimming, running, cycling, or resistance training in the form of like, say, lifting weights? Well, fortunately, there's a study that tested weight loss between resistance training and aerobic training, and they have some pretty clear results. So researchers at Duke University compared the weight loss differences between those who practice resistance training versus those who practice aerobic training. And all the subjects in this study were sedentary adults who were either overweight or moderately obese. And none of these subjects were smokers or had a history of diabetes or coronary heart disease. So the researchers divided their subjects randomly into 3 different groups. The resistance training group worked out 3 times a week, which came out to be about 180 minutes a week doing resistance training, in this case, lifting weights. The aerobic training group, their activities consisted of elliptical and cycling machines and treadmills, and their average time spent was about 133 minutes per week. What's really fascinating though is they had a third group that did both aerobic training and resistance training, did all of it, 180 minutes of weightlifting and 130 odd minutes of aerobic training. So for 8 months, the participants of the study followed their respective exercise regimes. And after the end of the 8 months, the researchers measured the change in their bodies. They looked at the difference in weight. Did they gain or lose weight? They looked at the change in their body fat percentage, looked at the change in their lean body muscle mass, as well as waist circumference. So let's start off with weight change. Who actually lost weight? Well, the subjects who participated in the strict resistance training, that is weightlifting group, they actually saw no decrease in body mass. In fact, if you look here, they actually gained about 3/4 of a kilogram. Well, how can this be given all the exercise they did? Well, if you look below here, they did lose a bit, about 0.5% of body fat percentage, but that was more than compensated by all the lean muscle mass that they gained, which caused them to gain a little bit of weight. On the other hand, aerobic training participants saw a significant drop in both total body mass and body fat composition. And they lost just a tiny bit of lean body mass as well. So before I move on to that third group that did both types of training combined, let's take stock in what this study has clearly shown. And it's what I've always long suspected, that aerobic training is far superior to resistance training if you're trying to lose weight. The problem with resistance training and weight loss is, yeah, you do burn some fat, but that's more than made up for by the lean body muscle mass that you're putting on. Well, if you're doing running or cycling, you are burning the fat, and you're actually burning a little tiny bit of that lean body muscle mass too, so you are dropping the weight. And I should point out too that aerobic training is more time efficient. These subjects spent about 130 minutes per week compared to 180 minutes per week for the weightlifters. So finally, let's take a look at this third group that did both resistance training and aerobic training, because I find the results absolutely fascinating. As I pointed out earlier, those who did aerobic training experienced the most weight loss. So if you added resistance training onto the aerobic training, strangely, there was really no change in weight loss. But there was a significant drop in body fat percentage. Look at that, almost twice as much as those who did just pure aerobic training. So how did those in the combined training group not lose even way more weight than the pure aerobic trainers did? Well, it's because, look at this graph here, those in the combined group put on a pretty decent amount of lean muscle mass, almost as much as those who did just pure resistance training. And we haven't even looked at change in waist circumference yet, which has been shown by many studies to be a better predictor of cardiovascular health than pure body mass index. So as you see here, those who just lifted weights really didn't lose anything off their waist. The runners, however, lost a significant amount, but once you combine resistance training and aerobic training, that's the group that experienced the largest change in waist circumference. So there's the study, a lot of graphs there, a lot of science. What are the clear takeaways? And again, it's what I've long suspected. If your goal is to purely lose weight, you're overweight, obese, and you really want to drop pounds and not gain more weight, you should be looking at some kind of cycling, running, or running machine, elliptical machine, swimming, some kind of aerobic training, and do it for at least 130 minutes a week, at least on average. If you want to gain weight for whatever reasons, then resistance training is what you should be looking at. If you want to put on muscle, want to get into bodybuilding, weightlifting. However, if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, resistance training actually works against you because, yeah, you do burn some fat, but you put on more lean body muscle mass that makes you actually gain a few pounds. And if you have the time, I mean, it's hard to resist the results from the combined resistance training and aerobic training, which I've been following for most of this year myself, and I can speak firsthand. I'm really digging the results. I mean, you get everything. You lose weight, your body fat percentage goes down, your lean body muscle mass goes up, and your waistline circumference goes down the most. And I want to make it painfully clear, I'm not saying aerobic training is better for you than weightlifting. This study was all about which form of exercise is best if you want to lose weight. And conversely, it shows you which one is best if you want to gain weight. So if you want to lose weight, aerobic training is the way to go. So anyway, post your questions and comments down below. Share with me your experiences in weight loss using resistance training or aerobic training. Let me know what your results were. Share them down below with everyone. If you like this video, hit like, share it with a friend who's working out way too hard and wonder why you're not losing a pound. And until next time, guys, we didn't even talk about how diet affects weight loss, but keep it carb, baby, keep it carb.